Alrighty guys, so when I started this video this morning, this was not intended as being a all about 400 series front adapters and drive shafts, but it has turned into this saga, and luckily for Steve, he is a master hoarder of everything useful. In hindsight, I'm just damn lucky I have the parts. So anyhow, on your right, ladies and gentlemen, you have what is considered the 13 spline drive shaft, and it is, I want to say it's a 7/8 shaft is what I want to say. I'm guessing off the top of my head, but regardless, it is a smaller shaft, and it's only 13 spline. On your left, you have the 15 spline, and I believe this is 15/16. If I'm not mistaken, I could be slightly wrong with the sizes, but regardless, it's the bigger shaft. It's 15 splines if you count them versus 13. And this is the associated bushings that go with them in the front axle. And the easiest way I found to remove them is the bore is 13/16. 13/16 socket seemed to work pretty good. Deep well would have been better, then I wouldn't need the extension, but I digress. Could not find one. I don't use a lot of 13/16s on Gravely stuff, but anyhow, basically this is the bushings I need for this drive shaft to make the front adapter kit work with said universal joint I have here. So, without further ado, you guys want to see me drive these bushings in? The bushings, near as I can tell, are the same length, so I'll take the hammer and tap them in either end, and then probably what I'll do at first is I'll put the extension down through it and then tap them in until they're in a little bit. That way they go in square. I guess I really don't even need the extension, do I? No. So I might get the camera and show you guys driving one of these in. And this 424 has a grease fitting on the bottom of the axle, so make sure if yours has a grease fitting, or if you drill and tap it for a grease fitting, which is not a bad idea. That way it won't wear these bushings out all the time. Make sure the grease hole is not covered up, or just take the grease fitting out and run a nail, drill bit, whatever up through it. Make sure it's clear before you put the drive shaft in. Because I basically put it in, just kind of spin it by hand. And you can see I had this one greased already, planning on using it, but backfire. So, let me get after this, guys. And I'll show you guys under the tractor. In 3, 2, 1. Alright. So basically, I think you guys have enough light. You can see what's going on. I'm going to take and use a little bit of this grease that's on here. It'll help you slide in here easier. What's the odds the other side has a chamfer on it? And I should have tried it first. No. No chamfer. Okay. It'd be nice to have a brass hammer or a rubber mallet to do this. One of them tools I don't exactly have, so just be kind of ginger putting them in, and it should be okay. A block of wood would be okay. As long as the bore is fairly clean, they should walk in there fairly easy. I'm just going to go flush with this. Just a hair more. Flush. So you guys get the idea there. I don't know how much the camera saw exactly, because it's kind of hard to keep these out of the road and show you guys, but there's the bushing. And let me see. This is actually a 15 spline drive shaft out of a quick hitch that they broke the part for the slip clutch off at work. As you guys can see, it slides right in there. So it's a little bit snug, but it was a little bit snug on the tractor I took it off of. So once you grease it up, it'll be a lot better. So I'm going to put the rear bushing in, and I'll put the drive shaft in, and then we'll go back to where we started out, which is mounting up an attachment to a 400. Whether you guys see that first part of the video or not, I'll make up my mind while I'm editing. Alrighty guys, so basically this is going to be installing a 4-bolt adapter set up on the front of this is on a 67 424, but they're all going to be very similar. Basically I already got the drive shaft installed and figured out. I have the correct U-joint I need installed on here. My latches all work. Maybe a little stiff, but they'll work. So basically, what you do, and I'm going to be kind of in my light behind me here, so I'm going to try and do this without doing that too awful much, but more or less, it might be easier if I go like this. It's actually easier if you drive the tractor forward, but I'm going to try and not do that. Basically, get it to a point. Don't need that for this part of the segment. Get it to the point where it's right about ready to go on. Okay, so right about at this point, you can normally get the universal joint real close to being slipped on, or you want to at least be thinking about it. Basically, I need to come back about 1/2 inch. Trying to avoid smashing your finger while doing said task. Basically get the drive shaft so it goes on there. Or drive shaft, yeah. Universal joint. Then you just want to slide it in the rest of the way, and you want it about centered between the latches, so that way, in theory, the latches will go down on nice and easy. And you take and put your cotter pins through here, or hairpin clips, whatever the heck you got. You want to use. I actually need a hammer to tap this in. There's a bit of a burr in this side. I want to put that in so that way you don't accidentally back away from your attachment. Ask me how I know now. Then you want to hook up your lift rod. Put the pin in it. And stay in there. Actually, the back ones normally go here. And the next step, or at least what I'm going to do, especially if you have a manual lift tractor, this helps greatly with keeping some weight on the front axle for turning. It's a whole lot easier to lift, etc. Just put this bracket on for the lift assist kit. And I just bought 2 of these at the Moen, which I'll probably put another I don't know what I'm using that doesn't have one on. Probably the 817, the front mount deck. But when winter comes along, I'll steal the U-joint back into this to run my 44-inch blower. Now the next step is once you get the deck and everything, the lift rod on, you can get the lift up, which this one actually lifts pretty easy. I've seen ones where they don't lift so easy. Now what you do is there is, to an extent, a left and a right to these. This one is actually kind of stuck. So off camera, I'm going to go loosen that one up. See if I got one that'll work. I think this one will work. At least it's in the open position. Anyhow. Now see, these are actually installed incorrectly. By a guy that wasn't paying attention. The lift assist bolt actually needs to be the top one. So, getting off camera here, I'm going to fix that and we'll install it correctly. And when I get back, we'll put everything on and see what it does. I still got to put some spindle covers on this deck too. It's laying beside you guys. You guys want to see them? Spindle covers. Yeah. Not really spindle covers on it. What you gonna do? Alrighty guys, so the last and basically final step, and this isn't even technically needed, but this, like I said, this will help your operation a whole bunch. And there is a right and a wrong way to hook this up, and I don't want to say wrong per se, but an easier way. Basically, these latches, if you look at them, the long side and the part that actually has a handle to tighten it up should go to the inside towards the frame. And I find that's easier just because of the way everything works. It pulls in a straighter line, etc. Anyhow, is the hook of the spring is towards the outside, and the back hook is down. So basically, you hook it in here like so, and right on there. Now, before you get your piece of pipe out and put that on there, I'm going to pick you guys up, because this is going to be a very, very common thing. When you come over here to the other side, a lot of times this is the side the lift rod's on. So a lot of times you won't be able to just quite get that spring on there. If you're able, you can take a bar or something, just pick up on the front of the deck a little bit. With this one, of course, for camera, going to be a bit of a pain. But once you get it hooked on there like so, you'll be alright. Then you want to take your piece of pipe. This is actually a little bit big, like a 3/4 wrench or something will work. But normally, well, you have to use the pipe in reverse. There we go. Like I said, 3/4 wrench. These are still a little bit stuck yet, so I may have to take the hammer and tap them around. It's been easy in the open position. You just kind of want to be careful you don't spin them around and, you know, hit something with your hand and then basically, if yours spin freely, you won't have that kind of problem. Now, no. Now you should be able to spin it fairly easy, and I don't quite have my wrench on here, right? So we'll just, oh, maybe not. Just put the wrench on here correctly, and I'll show you guys. And they're snapped on like so, and you guys can see the tension that's on them. So go around here to the other side. I'll take my magic hammer. Unless maybe them are supposed to be in the top holes. We'll find out here in a second if I did it right or wrong again. You know, you guys are kind of hard to work around. Oh, sorry. Sorry. There's like hardly any tension on this side. There you go, you're latched down. How to take them off, basically all you do is reverse. You can just take something and just pry them off and pop them around. Not sure why the other side is so tight over there, but it is. So let me actually let you guys sit right here and watch the springs. You can see what they do as you put them down. More tension on them. Now, this actually doesn't move a whole lot back and forth, at least for right now. There's about a ½ inch of play in the lift, and they can always pull up some more. So I might be able to put a piece of pipe in there and get it to lift a little bit more. But I'm going to put some air in the tires and stuff, and then I'll take you guys out and we'll run the deck a minute and see what happens. I'm going to put some more oil in the idler bearings. Just because of how seized they were, and see what happens. Alright guys, I tightened up the reverse clutch a little bit, so let's take it outside and see what happens. Almost. Go outside.